It's Brian Preston, the money guy.
Don't sweat the small stuff.
Yeah, this one, when it comes to negotiating, it is really easy for us to become anchored, right? I'm not paying a cent more than this, or I can't believe that the other party is asking me to do this. And sometimes you do have to step back and have that long-term, big picture view and recognize, is this thing that I'm so laser focused on worth potentially blowing up this whole deal?
Yeah, I mean, especially if we're talking, it's all in materiality of the transaction. I mean, this is why, once again, earlier we talked about like on a car purchase. If you're within a few $100s of the deal and you're getting fed up with the whole going back and forth, putting dealers against each other, if you're only a few $100, I mean, I do want you to take inventory of what's your time worth, and then is there a win that you can do through the floor mats or something else? Because you don't want to blow a deal up over $150. And I feel like sometimes just the ego of the situation will blow up a transaction because you want to end the transaction with a win. And that's such an ego move, really.
Yeah, I'm reminded of, this was probably, 10 years ago, 11 years ago, Brian. A much smaller enterprise that we were doing here. Show was much smaller. And we had a college student who had interviewed with us. And they would have potentially been essentially the third third person. I mean, huge opportunity seeing what the firm has now turned into and what the show has grown into. And I remember as we were going back and forth, this person had gone out and interviewed with some other firms in the Atlanta area. And one of the other firms offered this person, I think it was $2,000 more.
Yeah.
Right? It was $2,000 more in a base starting salary. And they took that. And we even said at the time, hey, we've got some exciting stuff going on. We think that these are some things that you ought to think about. This company that's willing to pay a little bit more, they don't have the things quite going on. And this person made the decision to go with the other company. And I just can't help but think back how much different it might have looked had that small thing not been such a big decision maker for them.
And even though this is part of 5, which is don't sweat the small stuff, this is really a bigger part that maybe we could have expanded out to be its own thing, but have a long-term mindset. I'm always amazed when we're talking about hiring at somebody, because, by the way, here's something that you guys, and we didn't talk about this in the content meeting, but a lot of very large employers, if you're coming out of college or you're in your first 5 years of being out in the workforce, it's not uncommon for the big, huge employers to be able to offer you tippity top of the pay scale.
Sure.
The problem, and here's something I would encourage you to do, is go interview somebody who's been there for 6, 7 years and see how much, you don't have to ask them to give you the dollar amount, but ask them just how much their income has increased, because it's not uncommon for people to get the tippity top coming out, but then they find that, man, cost of living adjustments just aren't is not as fast as maybe if I'd have gone with that more unique company that had a much bigger hockey stick type opportunity. And that's what a long-term mindset will help you out tremendously on that. And I think sometimes I dealt with this back when I was doing government work. It used to break my heart when I'd see police officers and firemen and firewomen too as well leave a pension. They were 6 months from qualifying for a pension. They would leave because the fire station or the county north of us or the police station, just in the town south of us, was paying them $1,500 more. They would walk away from a huge benefit. So you kind of, I worry about people leaving for the small stuff, but blowing up the big opportunity that was staring them in the face just because they didn't do all their research and know all the numbers.
And what I think, Brian, is really interesting is when it comes to the small stuff, I don't think it's just in like financial transactions. I mean, obviously those are ones that you see. But if you live with another person, like if you're married and your spouse, you live together, every day is kind of a negotiation on how that day is going to go. Is today going to be a good day? Is today going to be a bad day? Right? That's kind of the way.
You can tell you're in the messy middle.
And we each have a conversation around that. And I'm not perfect at this, but as my wife and I have been married for a number of years now, I'm getting better at this one. I'm getting better at recognizing if the outcome, the negotiation I want is for us to have a good, happy, pleasant day, maybe I don't need to freak out about the little things. Maybe I don't need to let the, the shoes on the floor be the thing that sends me into a tirade. Maybe that's just not something that matters, because the bigger picture, the bigger outcome, the bigger goal is what I should be focused on, not that small stuff.
What I want to kind of close the show out with is that I think a lot of you guys, we're numbers people. We're analytical. We're proud of that. I mean, I think that's what makes us financial mutants. And the theme, and this is something that was a superpower that I realized, and it was on that slide that Daniel put together. It's not on my copy. But when you look at Dale Carnegie's book, the new version that Daniel had up on the slide actually had like recommended by Warren Buffett.
Mm-hmm.
Warren Buffett is one of the most analytical people. Wouldn't be surprised if we found out that he was on the spectrum in some ways with the way he processes the world. But he very quickly realized, you know what, the analytics is not my problem. It's the soft skills of knowing how to deal with other humans, getting into human nature, getting better at human nature so that we can connect and we can compromise. We can figure out how we create value for both sides. This is what's going to make you an awesome negotiator. Do your homework, do the planning, because that stuff is rewarded. And I know financial mutants, we love. It feels like the world is just when the more work we do, the more we're rewarded. But there's also a skill set to focus on those soft skills, the emotional stuff. Make sure you're an active listener, and it's really going to reward you in the long term.
If you've not had a chance yet to go check out our website, you can go to moneyguy.com. We have a resource page out there. We have all kinds of free deliverables for you. If you want to know how powerful your dollars are, if you want to know whether you should refinance, if you want to have a quick guide to overall tax law, we have all of that available for you out on the website, moneyguy.com/resources. We're going to keep loading up. We actually have some in the works now that hopefully will be getting out there over the next few months. We want you guys to take this so that you can continue to apply it to your financial situation and grow into a life of abundance.
Guys, the abundance cycle continues to bear fruit for us. We've been investing in you guys since 2006. Keep checking it out. You know, I'm hoping our goal is you come, take all the free knowledge we're giving out. We're dishing it out in heaping spoonfuls. I want you to learn, apply, grow. You will reach a level of success that you're like, I don't know what I don't know, and I'm not going to screw this up. So when you get to that point of complexity and that level of success that you need a co-pilot, we hope you'll remember who planted the seeds, because that's really how the abundance cycle works, and it's bared a lot of fruit for us. You know, we talk about the financial order of operations. If you're a person that has not reached full abundance yet, and you're trying to accelerate the learn, apply, and grow, go. Bo just talked about the resource page.
That's it.
Go check it out. We give you a free deliverable on the financial order of operations. If you need a little more hand-holding, a little more motivation, a little more nudges, go check out the course that we have on that too. But we're just going to keep doing what we do. We love educating you. We have the hearts of the educators. We want to help you build. Take a little bit today for that great, big, beautiful tomorrow in the future. Just keep coming back, and we're going to keep loving on you. I'm your host, Brian Preston, Mr. Bo Hansen, Money Guy Team. Out.